Hey, today's March 16th, 2021. This is a Lessons in Democracy vlog. As you can see, I'm still wearing this very easy to see jacket and, a lot of colors. But people in this community still seem to have to learn the concept of friendliness and respect and personal space and safety when it comes to cyclists on the road. And this vlog will talk a little bit about that because people from all around the world are essentially friendly people, but only if we live in communities that don't exceed a certain number, then different traits come out. So, big cities are an evolutionary dead end for sure. And my calf is still red from badminton yesterday. I had some great badminton games, and also participated in a conversation with somebody for the first time. So I think I won all my games yesterday because I finally put my old orthotics in my new badminton shoes. But I'm advocating for myself right now, hopefully not having to jump through too many hoops to get a new pair of orthotics in this insurance that supposedly covers me, but that makes, like most types of insurance in Canada, sometimes people more poor, right? It costs more money to actually get access to the partial payments that you get with certain insurance. So I'm going to start by just defining a few things based on the definition, because I think I beat everybody that's a very good player at badminton yesterday in singles, and singles is not usually my game, but I'm getting back in the groove of it. And it's not just about physical fitness, it's about the RAM, right? Thinking quickly. And it's a psychological game, and it's thinking quickly also with the working memory. So I'm going to define a few things for this vlog, and one of them is to say that maybe these three things I'm going to define fall under economic ideology or political ideologies, and so you might not like the definitions. I just on Google said define these words. Democracy, a system of government by the whole population. Okay, and that's I wanted to find a very simple one. So based on this and based on technology that most of the whole has access to, but the ones that don't could compensate with, a different kind of system, such as their postal system, or somebody having a legal permission to vouch for them using technology. Is I can say there's no democratic country on earth that I know about. Communism, creating an equal society through an authoritarian state which denies basic liberties. Now, I've seen a couple of different definitions just looking into it quickly, and one seems to suggest that it's against class or status, and some says that it's for it. But anyways, we'll stick with that definition for now. Socialism, political or economic theory of social organization, which advocates that the means of production, so when we talk about production here, we're talking about economics more. So it's not about, human development or sentience or sapience as the goal, So the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. So this kind of sounds a little bit more like the countries that claim to be democratic, but that don't use it efficiently more than at the kindergarten level. So with a lot of confusion, misguided information, and just beliefs that the illusion is already that they've achieved this process. So as the person claiming to have the specialties I have, I'm going to say that there's four maybe common themes that I've noticed as an independent scientist looking at the human condition from the outside perspective. So the first one is that in all of them, for them to function at this stage of, let's call it redneckism, when people are actually, they don't feel guilty with their own ignorance, let's call it this time, is that it has to function with a manufacturing of consent and an indoctrination for the concept of civic duty to be defined instead and believed to be replaced by patriotism. So the second thing that is common in all three of these is that no competent civil servant can be scientifically measured to be in existence in high enough numbers so as to make any of these overpopulated nations functional. So any nation that claims to be democratic or communist or whatever, as they define it, and you have to go look at their definition. So if China says they are, then go look at their definition and see that, you know, they contradict themselves in that way, whichever one they choose. All three, right, so that's three. The third thing that they have in common, all three are present in, let's say, the USA, Canada, Russia, China, the UN, etc. And that's it. No matter how they define themselves, all three concepts are at the same time operating within these. The fourth one thing that they have in common is that orderly societies of the people primates, you know, the species called the Homo communia, that call themselves Homo sapiens, are not possible. So these orderly societies are not possible when cities or nations incorporate these flawed ideologies when certain numbers of their citizens in their systems exist at too high numbers. And it's the case for pretty much everywhere. So these four things prove that none of these political or economic ideologies can function, and the science of psychology tells us this, and anthropology. So, you know, why we avoid having these discussions. I mean, I've been to Philosopher's Cafe where people have PhDs in philosophy, and everybody thinks that they're having these philosophical debates. But if I bring an idea that is different than the collective, the norm in there, I become very unpopular, and yet I'm interested in philosophical debate as well. So this has been another vlog on lessons of democracy. And again, I think it's up to you guys to decide how honest you want to be with yourselves. But I got to tell you again that you have passed your social tipping points to repair these things, even if you were right now, as a majority, interested in repairing these flawed ways of organizing yourselves as a species with opposable thumbs that has such a widespread impact on the natural world. So good luck with that, eh? You silly Homo communia.